What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another gameplay video. Today we are featuring myself on the right playing the aggressive version of MF that I featured in a deck profile earlier this week, up against a lower to the ground variant of Master Yi, piloted by my friend Danny. Apologies for the cutoffs with the chosen champions. I'll showcase what they are on the screen right now so you guys can read them. But yeah, we have this matchup going. We're going to go with 2 games today. So our battlefields, starting off with Master Yi's, is God Willow Grove. Of course, the hold strategy just wants to take advantage of that. And then I am playing Back Alley Bar down for my battlefield. Now, I do get to go first here. I don't really hit the Traveling Merchant, which is definitely the ideal turn 1 play. But I do have the Tide Turner to supplement for that. And if you guys remember from the deck profile and the Tactor article that I posted alongside the deck profile, you want to start with a 2-drop, generally no matter what it is, because you are playing an aggressive tempo deck. You really want to be able to get those points early so you can win with set plus ride the wind. Now we see Danny on Master Yi in his turn 1. Looks like he chooses to draw a card off Clockwork Keeper, and the deck works very well on even curve, so that's fine, but I imagine that he did that because his hand's looking maybe a little bit rough, so he wanted to try and draw some extra cards. Now, we're taking the Tide Turner. We're going over to the God Willow Grove. I imagine that Danny's going to have some sort of battle buff to deal with the 2 Might unit in the God Willow Grove, but I'm also going to play Sneaky Deckhand to the Back Alley Bar so that he has to kind of make a decision there on which one he wants to deal with. And then if I can gank over later, the Back Alley Bar is going to make me a little bit stronger. Not that it would outvalue Yi's +2, but it would at least get me something going. I could even maybe like recall back to base and then challenge, be a 3 to a 2. That's another play you can do with Back Alley Bar. That's kind of cool. But now we're going back to Danny's second turn here on his even curve, since he did draw the card off of Clockwork Keeper on turn 1. Now, I do have the 2-point lead, but I would not say that that means a whole lot in this matchup, because once again, Danny can pretty easily take over one of these battlefields with something like an On Guard or a Discipline. So he's kind of probably trying to take a look at what his best, most optimal play line is. It would of course be nice if he can use a battle buff and play an additional unit. We'll see if he has the cards in hand and the resources to do that. He is going to go ahead and drop the On Guard just like we talked about. Now I really want to get that unit out of the battlefield because God Willow's Grove is going to generate a whole lot of value for Danny, and if we got the read right that his hand is not looking too good on turn 1 because he did use Clockwork Keeper, it's even more important to get him out of the God Willow Grove. He is going to drop a Charm to clear both my units, Charm being just a ridiculously strong card like we've always talked about. And then he's dropping the Stalwart Poro down in the base, going into my 6 rune turn. Looks like I'm a little light on units. I do have the Dead Bloom Predator in hand, but all the rest of my cards have power costs, so that's kind of problematic. So I'm kind of wondering, like, do I just stack deck and dig for something that maybe doesn't have a power cost? Do I wait for 8 energy and just go for a Dead Bloom Predator play? And thinking back, I don't think that's the decision I make, but it might have been the correct decision because once I get that in the battlefield, it's going to be much harder for Danny to actually deal with it unless he has like Primal Strength or White Flame Protector in hand. Again, we have a read that his opener wasn't the best, although he is recovering quite nicely now. So I'm taking quite a while here to think. I apologize for that. That's why I speed up the gameplay so that you guys don't have to slog through all the thinking and talking that we're doing during our test playing. So I'm finally going to go ahead and make a decision here. I'm going to go ahead and seemingly drop my chosen champion MF. It is going to set me back on a power, which does delay me even further from dropping the Dead Bloom Predator. I do almost think that waiting for the Dead Bloom Predator, giving him 1 draw from God Willow's Grove, would have been the better play. Like, I do have the point lead, so I don't think I needed to be as pressured as I felt that I was, but we'll see how this play ends up working out. He's going to pretty easily be able to go into God Willow's Grove. I can gank over, but of course the Master Yi Legend ability is going to make that pretty tough to do. So we'll see what ends up happening here as a result. Thinking about throwing the Stalwart Poro into the God Willow, free point for him. I am tapped out after all. Now, we really have to see what his follow-up play is. He's going to drop Sabotage. So, I'm a big fan of Sabotage in the main. I don't see it in a whole lot of main decks, especially at least from the Chinese regionals. But I think the card is just of the utmost value, especially in positions like this, where I would say I am a little compromised in terms of, like, my board presence and my rune progression. So, I think a Sabotage here could really seal the deal. He is going to go ahead and grab a stacked deck. I guess he figures that the 2 cards in my hand aren't that great, which he's not wrong. Like, Ride the Wind is not looking too hot right now. I don't have the set to combo with it. And my own Sabotage could get defied, or maybe he just doesn't have spells in hand that he really cares about losing. So, looking at my draw for turn, I get a Pit Rookie here, which is actually pretty clutch, because that's going to help me a little bit in dealing with this other side of the board, potentially. I am going to play the Pit Rookie right to the battlefield to try and maintain control there. And we're kind of just playing the game of chicken now. Like, I have, what is a 7 might in that battlefield. So if he doesn't have something with like haste or something with a battle buff to try and come in and clear it, I can win off holding alone. Of course, he could throw a wrench in that plan with things like Charm or maybe even Blitzcrank, which is played in that E build. So we'll have to see if he has the answers. But right now, I'm looking to just take advantage of the lead that I've generated. Tapping 3 here. Looks like he's going to drop a Sunlit Guardian in the base. Prepare for some sort of onslaught, maybe the following turn. And he's going to drop a Paka Cub. This is a tech that I really like in Master Yi. I used to be much more high on it, meaning I thought that it was possibly better than Zhonya's. I have kind of come off of that high horse a little bit, but I still think that Paka Cub is very, very good in Master Yi because it kind of allows you to maintain control of battlefields in the face of removal. And spoiler, that's going to be pretty relevant in this set of games. So we'll see what we have here. I do get back up to 8 runes, though, and I am able to drop the Dead Bloom Predator. So luckily, our decisions worked out. I think we were a little bit aided by the fact that Danny didn't have an additional charm, although, you know, in this game, if they see 1 charm, I mean, they could see the second, but, I mean, it's also very possible they don't see any additional ones. He hasn't really used any cards with draw power besides the turn 1 Clockwork Keeper. So, we are looking pretty good here. We are in control of both battlefields. This does set us up for a potential set Ride the Wind win condition if we happen to draw into set. And now the ball is in Danny's court to see if he can kind of come back from this situation. Looking at what the board state looks like, I mean, sending both units into either battlefield doesn't work without battle buff, so we have to see if he has discipline. And he is going to go ahead and drop the White Flame Protector. So this will certainly deal with one of the battlefields. Let's see which one he aims to go for. I think I would probably go for the Back Alley Bar just because it's 2 units for the price of 0, but he's actually going to go into the Godwillow's Grove. I think he's greeting the draws just a little bit, whereas getting value off of 2 units might have been a little better. But we'll see how it works out for him here. Still not in the best position to actually deal with the Back Alley Bar battlefield, so if I can hold it for 1 more turn, I can actually win the game. However, I think he's thinking that he's going to throw the Pocket Cub up there. So this is a play that we see in Master Yi sometimes where he's just looking to outvalue his own leader ability and throw the extra might. So the Sunlit Guardian would normally be a 6 on its own defending, but now with the Pocket Cub, it is a 7. So he's trying to prevent me from just ganking over and doing the double conquer. So I'm going to go for a Sabotage. He's just holding a pair of Defies, so I know he doesn't have any battle buffs to really stop what I'm trying to do here. I am going to Rebuke, which cannot be defied due to its double power cost. And now we are going to gank over. He is defending for a 5. I know he doesn't have any on guards or anything like that. And now look at the Back Alley Bar coming into play here. I get exactly the 1 might that I need in order to win that game. So we are going to go ahead and now go into the second game of this gameplay video. And we'll see how it goes. Our 2 battlefields are the Dreaming Tree for Danny, a great battlefield for Master Yi because he plays a ton of battle buffs that do actually target his units. And I can also benefit off of this a little bit. It's obviously not as good for my deck, but I am playing Challenge, which can benefit off Dreaming Tree if used at the right time. And then I'm also playing Vile Maw's Lair, which is just meant to be a detriment to my opponent because they're not able to actually retreat from that battlefield. Although for Yi, that's usually not too much of a problem because they want to hold battlefields anyway. He is going to go first here and drop the Pit Rookie to no effect, just kind of like last game where I had to drop a Tide Turner on turn 1. Not ideal, but we do what we got to do. I am starting off with the stacked deck, looking for some sort of 2-drop here. I think I do see the Tide Turner in my opener. We played quite a few games the other day, and man, I could not draw Traveling Merchant for the life of me. I don't think I drew it in any of the games we played. I think we played like 5 or 6 games. But yeah, I'm going to go drop the Tide Turner on turn 1 here just to try to match tempo. And then Danny is going into his second turn, back again on his even curve. And Odd Curve for Misfortune feels pretty good because we can drop a set next turn, prepare it for a Ride the Wind play, which we do have both in hand. Although this combo is very hard to pull off in the Master Yi matchup for a few reasons, one of which being his access to Charm. If he is able to charm my set and kill it before I'm actually able to get to the next turn and set up my Ride the Wind play, that's really problematic. The other issue is that, of course, he can defy the Ride the Wind. So a couple of problems here when trying to resolve this in that matchup. So I do reveal double set and a Rebuke and a Bullet Time. He's going to go ahead and rip the Rebuke because he cannot defy it, so that makes a ton of sense to me. Although Time Bullet is also a very valid card, especially if I had Warwick in hand, which I don't have at this particular moment. But we will see if that's something that I end up drawing into and making use of. Danny still has 3 runes to work with. Will he be establishing a unit? Yep, another Pit Rookie to buff the Pit Rookie he has in his battlefield. And then we'll go over to my second turn. Let's see what our most optimal playline is here. I mean, it kind of looks like just drop set and pass, but once again, like, him having the ability to charm us up is definitely problematic. I would also say that he would have to have a battle buff in order to do that successfully, because even if he charms me into his Pit Rookie, we trade, but I mean, you know, they play 6 battle buffs at least, so expecting him not to have it would be a little foolish on my part, I think. We are going to go ahead and tap 4 and drop the MF Chosen Champion. I'm still going back and forth on whether or not I want to play the orange MF or the purple MF, but the purple MF has been coming clutch in situations just like this, where it just happens to work out on curve. Like, my next turn, I can definitely drop the set, try to establish that for a Ride the Wind combo. But at this point, I'm just trying to set up this Vile Maw battlefield and see if I can potentially set up a ganking over play. Although I'm not really seeing the vision right now with what my hand is looking like, but we'll see if I can hopefully draw into some stuff. The challenge could definitely be clutch, but again, it's Defy bait, so could definitely not work out super well. I would say Rebuke is definitely an MVP contender in this matchup just because it can't be defied. That's a huge deal. He is going to charm over the purple MF, which, because the Pit Rookie is buffed, it's enough to beat the MF on its own. And then we'll see what Danny's follow-up here is going to be. Looks like he wants to cast a Discipline before attacking with the Pit Rookie. We talked about this play a little bit on Tactor as well, where, you know, you could do that mid-combat to give your opponent the least information possible, but in this case, I'm tapped out. There's no real risk of him doing it before attacking, and it gives him more information that he can work with before he actually has to commit to a play like that. So definitely makes a whole lot of sense. I am going to drop the set because seemingly it's the only real play I have access to. But now, if he does decide to charm up any of my units, I can go for a Time Bullet or a Bullet Time play and potentially clear out whatever he charms me into. It would set me back on quite a lot of runes, but because I would at least get 2 runes the following turn, it would set me up for a Ride the Wind play. So wouldn't be the worst thing. I'm on a huge point deficit here, so I really just need to crawl back into this game somehow, and if the tempo of setting back all my runes is the way to do it, I mean, that's what I'll do. He's going to go ahead and tap his Pit Rookie in the Dreaming Tree and draw 2 cards. Do keep in mind that the ability of Meditation to tap your unit is not an ability that chooses a unit. It's actually an additional cost. So if you are in this position where you use Meditation on a unit at Dreaming Tree, you don't draw 3 cards. Danny did not draw 3 cards, just to clarify, but I want to make that known because it is a confusing ruling. And he is going to do exactly what we talked about. He is going to charm me up to the Pit Rookie, which is now a 5 because of the buff it has. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Bullet Time, wait for a potential Defy. We'll see if that's what he ends up doing here. He's actually going to On Guard, which, man, unfortunately takes me out of the range of being able to clear it with Bullet Time alone, because now it's a 7 might unit. So now by recycling 2 runes, we at least trade in this battlefield, which again, not ideal. I mean, at least I don't lose all my runes, but still, I mean, the tempo loss is going to be really hard to come back from. He's going to go ahead and drop a Pit Rookie in his base, buff his Pit Rookie at the Vile Maw's lair, which is stuck there due to the location's ability. And we're going to go ahead and drop a set. And pass turn, just setting up the same play we had last time. Hopefully he doesn't have another charm, because that would be really, really unfortunate. Let's see what his most optimal play line is here. He has an easy potential to go to 7 points. I do need to clear both battlefields in order to not lose the game, which again is totally possible if I can pull off this set ride the wind play. We'll see if Danny's hand is going to allow me to do that or not. That's going to be a whole separate kind of thing. So he's going to go ahead and hide a card at the Dreaming Tree location, which could be either a Zonia's or a Pocket Cub. Zonia's would actually be much more preferable for me right now because I don't care if his unit actually goes back to base. I can get it out of the battlefield and prevent myself from losing. Pocket Cub could be a little bit more problematic. I do have 2 pieces of removal in hand, though, which is a really good thing. So I'm hoping to go into this battlefield and just win this fight. Discipline doesn't get him out of this. On Guard doesn't get him out of this. But a Primal Strength would be extremely problematic. So I'm hoping and praying he doesn't quite have that card specifically. And it is the Primal Strength. So he did have the answer to my play this turn. I do wonder if using a Rebuke would have been the better option here potentially, and then I could have rode the win and then maybe went 12 into the other battlefield. And thinking on it, I mean, that actually probably was the much better play, where I clear out the Valamaw lair before even swinging into it, so that I would be able to guarantee the ability for my set to live, and I wouldn't have to use the Rebuke here. Although, maybe it's generally just the same thing. I did make him use the Primal Strength and he just got rebuked. Now I can challenge the Pit Rookie, which is going to force him to flip up the Pocket Cub or Zonia's. However, a Defy here would also be quite problematic. He is going to go ahead and flip the Pocket Cub, and then he is going to drop the Pit Rookie. And so even though I have all the removal in the world, I'm just 1 card short of actually being able to win this game and answer these battlefields. I'm just missing the ride the win that I so desperately need. So that's going to be the 2 games we have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, learned something from these games, and saw that the MF deck does have solid potential even up against a meta deck like Master Yi. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Riftbound content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.